Thanks for staying with us on the Late Night News. On to some national stories now. In the big news that's most disappointing, with almost 50 days for the Commonwealth Games to go, allegations and counter-allegations of corruption are only getting murkier. After T.S. Darbari was given the tick of termination, he has struck back, possibly at Suresh Kalmadi himself, whom he served as a close aide to. T.S. Darbari has now come out to reveal three vital details that tarnish Kalmadi's previous statements of defence. In a letter to the CEO of the organising committee, Darbari claims that Kalmadi himself put his signature to the papers that lead the clear path to the AM Films deal, and that Kalmadi was the only competent authority at that point to sign and give the go-ahead signal for that controversial deal. Ironically, this is the same company that Kalmadi pretended never having heard of at his first press conference. Suresh Kalmadi earlier had produced letters from a Raju Sebastian claiming that AM Films had been recommended by the Indian High Commission. India House in London refuted the claim, saying the emails appeared doctored. NDTV has accessed the alleged emails to a director in the organising committee. However, he is now denied having received those emails in the first place. And the man who sparked that recent twist in the tale, T.S. Darbari, spoke to the group editor of NDTV, Barkha Dutt. Here's what he had to say.
What I'm saying is I was asked to go on leave, and when after, as per the Customs Act, one is if somebody gets something and takes your name, that he or she got it for you, you will be asked by the authorities to come and give your witness statement. And I gave my witness statement, and I was very clear about it, that I have nothing to do with that episode. These things are all plants, the way they are being done. So anyway, I have no further comments.
May I quote to you from your own correspondence where you talk about the chairman of the OC, which in this case happens to be Mr. Kalmadi, being the only competent authority to clear the contract, and there was no written contract with AM Films, and even pay 100% advance payment. This is from your own correspondence. So you are saying it was Suresh Kalmadi's decision.
I have not said this. Please don't put words into my mouth. I am not taking anybody's name. I am not blaming anybody. I am only blaming my destiny, and I am only blaming that I have been unnecessarily targeted. It's a motivated campaign against me for no involvement of mine.
Staying with national news, breaking his silence on the Bhopal gas tragedy and the circumstances which resulted in the release of Warren Anderson, Arjun Singh, the former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, has said that Rajiv Gandhi never said anything to support Warren Anderson at the time of the tragedy, and to blame him for his release was unacceptable. But the big question remains that if it wasn't Rajiv Gandhi, then who was responsible for the release of Anderson, who was detained when he reached Madhya Pradesh? Arjun Singh says his chief secretary, who is now dead, had been receiving repeated calls from the Home Ministry in Delhi for Anderson's release. Mr. Singh then told his secretary, "Do what you have to do, but ensure that Anderson can be summoned in the future according to the rules of the land." That quite clearly never happened. In news from Kolkata, adding insult to injury, the capital's La Martiniere School for Boys has now demanded fees from the father of Ruvan Raula, the class 8 student who committed suicide 4 days after being caned by his principal. Ruvan's father, Ajay Raula, received an SMS from the school this morning asking him to ensure that his bank account was sufficiently funded with enough money so that the fee could be debited from it on the 13th of August. This is the second such SMS to Mr. Raula. The first came in June, asking him to ensure that there was more than 9,500 rupees in his account, as that sum would be debited as fees on the 3rd of June. In business news, General Motors has delivered some stellar performances in the Indian markets by way of impressive sales figures in the passenger car segment. Confident of a northbound growth trajectory, the management is now looking to diversify into commercial vehicles as well. But is this a cry for battle against the Tatas and the Mahindras? NDTV Hindu takes a look.
US-based auto major General Motors is looking for a bigger piece of the Indian auto pie, the second fastest growing automobile market in the world. General Motors has confirmed that it now plans on driving into the commercial vehicle segment. Borrowing the design from the 50-50 joint venture with SAIC of China, it plans on developing a light commercial vehicle.
And we've never played in the commercial vehicle segment before. So the first vehicles we've selected from our partner are commercial vehicles, and therefore we can now start to compete in that segment as well, and we'll be doing that around the end of next year.
The light commercial vehicle, or the LCV, will be pitched directly against market majors like the Tata Ace and Mahindra Maximo. However, the management is confident of challenging the auto giants in the sub-1 ton truck segment.
Because what we'll be offering is something that's value. So you'll be getting something in a Chevrolet commercial vehicle, value for money. And of course we know they're big names, but of course we know that we can challenge and hopefully give them a run for their money.
They accept that pricing is a critical factor, but the management says their focus will be on providing value for money and not the cheapest product. Meanwhile, 3 new stallions will emerge from the GM stables in the passenger car segment within the next 2 years. The management has hinted that being a volume player, the new entrants from GM will fight it out amongst the hatchbacks or mid-size sedans. In Chennai, this is Ashmit Kumar for NDTV Hindu.
Well, there's certainly going to be quite some competition in that territory. Now, the countdown has begun. It's 11 days more to go for Madras Day. What would our city be without its various historic structures and places that remind us of our rich history? As part of our lead up to the 22nd of August, our reporter Natasha visited one such place gleaming with old memories.
Times have changed, people have changed, and the city, of course, has evolved from Madras to Chennai. But what is it that we can recollect from good old Madras days? Well, you've obviously heard of the Madras Boat Club, and that's exactly where we are today. I'm seated here along the banks of the Adyar River, and I'm with the president of the boat club, Mr. Gopal Madhavan, who has been here since 1958, right here at this place. Could you tell us what the heritage of the Madras Boat Club is and what it was back then when the city was called Madras?
See, the Madras Boat Club has always been a place where it was a young men's club, and rowing basically is a young men's sport. It is normal for a young executive of any of the institutions to be sort of guided and pointed towards the Madras Boat Club as a place to join, to take up some rowing. In my case also exactly that. I was just called up and said, I'll see you at the boat club at 6 o'clock in the morning by one of the directors, and that was it. So you were not given too much of a choice, but then a lot of us enjoyed it so much, we kept going at it. See, the boat itself is divided into different parts. They got the bow, the stern, the rudder, the keel, etc. So when we were naming different restaurants and bars, etc., we had the bow side as a party area, we had a stroke side which was a meeting hall cum party area, we had midwaters which was a dining area, and we had ECOs, which is the order which is given when the race is over and you can relax, and that was our bar. So that's what we did in naming each one of our recreation areas into one part of the boat.
This is the famous boat shed, which can hold about 30 odd boats, I'm guessing. And back when the city was called Madras, we started with the basic wooden oars. And today it is about 30 lakhs worth of brand new equipment called Concept 2 blades, of course, which is made of fiberglass. And that goes to prove what the club once was and what it is today.
Well, it's still a sport that's frequented by many who love the place. That's the news tonight from all of us here. Good night. Thanks for watching.